ILTV Plus, your news from Israel and more 24/7. Start your free trial today. Subscribe at iltv.tv and watch from any device.
Making Aliyah to Israel can be quite a challenge, even more so among the elderly. But one assisted living facility, Beit Tovei Ha'ir in Jerusalem, aims to offer a place where new immigrants can make a home for themselves in Israel. ILTV went to check it out. Hannah Rifkin with the report.
Located in the heart of the holy city of Jerusalem, Beit Tovei Ha'ir is a leading religious retirement community. But unlike the general population, a whopping 70% of its residents are English speakers who've made Aliyah, or rather immigrated, to Israel.
It's been my dream to move to Israel for a long, long time. I came here alone. My husband passed away almost 15 years ago. And one of the things that I wanted was a facility where I could sit down to a table with other people and have my meals. That was important to me. And that is here also. And I also had requested, when my family was suggesting places, I want a place with a swimming pool because I love swimming. And so Tovei Ha'ir has it all.
I am at Tovei Ha'ir for 9 years. I came here originally, the second youngest in the group. That has changed. We now have all ages, from the 60s to 107, the oldest. So we have quite a variety, obviously. But what's beautiful about Beit Tovei Ha'ir, we're not strangers. That is amazing. And that's what brought me here.
And with 35 years under its belt, the residence has truly blossomed, and with the feeling of warmth and togetherness among the most beloved qualities in the community, Beit Tovei Ha'ir offers an array of activities and amenities, making life convenient, comfortable, enjoyable, and active for its residents. So much so that they complain they didn't know about the benefits of coming to Israel sooner.
After I arrived here and I started to get involved in some of the activities that were going around, and I enjoyed each one so much and felt very much at home, I felt sorry that I didn't make Aliyah earlier.
There's a synagogue that's used 3 times a day, and there are classes and programs run in the synagogue as well.
It's a real community living. People care for each other. If somebody doesn't see you a day or two, Varda, where have you been? Is everything okay with you? Very considerate.
The staff at Beit Tovei Ha'ir, fantastic. They truly, truly care about the residents, and that's very important. We have a gentleman here, a rabbi, that sings throughout the entire meal time. A pleasure.
I just wish that everyone would think about coming and making Aliyah. It's very doable. Israel welcomes us. They want us here. And you know what? We all belong here.
Meanwhile, Jewish life observance is at the center of Beit Tovei Ha'ir, with synagogue services available daily, in addition to special services and activities during the holidays. But moreover, the community is acutely attuned to the health of the residents' spirit, mind, and body. So, in addition to the religious and physical activities, Chaya explaining how health and safety became a top priority during the COVID-19 pandemic.
They meet the needs. There are nurses, very qualified nurses. There are doctors. There are shiurim, lectures. There are general lectures. There are art classes. There's arts and crafts. There's a gym. There's swimming. And it's a variety of people, and we all get along. That's what I love about Beit Tovei Ha'ir. We all get along.
Hannah Rifkin, ILTV.
And now, with more on making Aliyah and building a life in Israel, is the CEO of Beit Tovei Ha'ir, Emmanuelle Globerman. Thank you for joining us.
Shalom. Ma shlomech, how are you?
I'm great. So let's jump right in. Moving to a new country can be very challenging. I mean, what advice would you give to our viewers who may be interested in making Aliyah to Israel?
Moving is not an easy thing for anybody in any place at any time. But we're not just talking about moving to another country. We're talking about moving to Israel, which is the home of the Jewish people, our parents and their grandparents prayed and wished for thousands of years for the opportunity that we have today. We have the zchut, the privilege of being a privileged generation, that we have the ability to live in Israel. And I think that anybody who's thinking about coming to Israel should put that in front of their minds all the time. The privilege of living in Israel. There are going to be hardships. Life is full of hardships. God created the world in such a way that there are hardships, and He also gave us the choice and strength to overcome those hardships. So when somebody comes to Israel, making Aliyah, that's what they should be thinking about. And I'm sure that they will be able to overcome all the challenges.
Now, speaking of the challenges, it's especially challenging for the elderly, people who want to make Aliyah later in life. I mean, what options are there for people who are interested in making Aliyah to Israel who are perhaps 60 years or older?
I think that there are several options. One is to, nowadays 60 years old is not that old. People today in their 70s and 80s and 90s. We have people even in their hundreds at Beit Tovei Ha'ir who are active and do things and move around, travel. So I think that, while there are challenges for the elderly, there are also challenges for everybody. Specifically in terms of the elderly, I think just like anyone else, they would best look at the possibility of moving independently. I'm assuming that in most cases, they have family or friends that they can rely on. There are also organizations like Nefesh B'Nefesh who can be very, very helpful in facilitating everything having to do with making Aliyah. So I think that the best advice is to find a point person where that person is a member of the family or a good friend or a organization like Nefesh B'Nefesh. And these are resources that will help anyone in making the move to Israel, including the elderly.
But Emmanuelle Globerman, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today.
Thank you very much.